Have you ever had a year where you looked back in December or maybe even January when you're starting to think about those end of year performance reviews and you just think, what did I even accomplish? What did I even do this year? I know we've all had those days, right? We get to the end of the day and you think, man, I am exhausted. I worked so hard, but I can't put my finger on a single thing that I actually accomplished today. And that's fine if that happens for a day. Sometimes that's fine if it even happens for a week in a really busy season. But how difficult, what a tragedy to get to the end of a year and think, I am in the same place, or maybe even a worse place than I was at the beginning of this year. This is not where I saw myself going in my career and within this organization, and I am going to fix it. Your 2026 glow up, your professional makeover starts now. It starts in December. And there is a wonderful reason for that. It's because you can start building the habits and the rituals now that will take you forward to make 2026 a year like no other. The year that you finally get that promotion that you've been after. The year that you get the recognition for the job well done. The year that you get respect, not only from the team, not only from the people who report to you, but from your boss and from your peers as the powerhouse that you are. 2026 is going to be different for you, my friend, but it has to start now. You can't expect to roll in on January 2nd after having too many sweets, and let's be honest, probably too many drinks on New Year's Eve, and expect that 2026 is going to be different. You need to set your standards now. And that is what I am here today to help you with, okay? This is going to be your guide. We are giving you 4 things that you are going to start doing every single day from now through the end of the year to create that momentum that you need going into 2026. You will start January with a bang by doing these 4 things that will honestly take you less than 5 minutes to complete. All right? I'm telling you, it's a game changer. First, for these to really take hold, I need you to understand where you want to be. Now, for many of us, we have a really clear view of where we don't want to be. We don't want to still feel like this. We don't want to still feel stuck. We don't want to still feel drowned out by all of the noise in our workplace. We don't want to feel overlooked, right? But what do you want? Give that some thought. And if you're not sure exactly what a positive look might be, I want to give you a mini version of what I work on with my coaching clients. So, in the very, very beginning of coaching, the first thing that I have them do is a visioning exercise where we go through and they reflect back on their future. Now, I don't have time to go through that entire exercise with you here today, but what I can do is help you just kind of take that concept and apply it here in a little bit smaller term. So I want you to envision yourself this time next year. It is December of 2026, and you feel so accomplished. You feel so overwhelmed with gratitude for the opportunities that you've had, whether it is at work or the time and the space and the energy that you've had at home. Or maybe it's that you were able to take more vacations and spend more time with friends, get more adventures in. Take a minute, close your eyes if it's a safe place to do so, and just pause this video and think through what you would want your reflection of 2026 to feel like. What specific milestones do you see? And what overall feeling do you have? If you need to pause here, go ahead and pause. All right. Now that you have this vision of yourself, now that you know who you are at the end of 2026 and you are energized to get to be that person, I'm going to give you the 4 things that I want you to start doing today to build that momentum. The first one is going to be to get ready every single day. Get yourself ready. Now, I'm not talking about putting on a full face of makeup if you are working from home and doing some head down work. I'm not even telling you that you have to shower every single day because sometimes I don't, depending on where I have to go and what I have to do for that day. But I want you to start every day looking like you showed up on purpose. That means not rolling up to your desk chair in the pajamas that you were wearing the day before. That means actually maybe running a comb through your hair. That means showing up to the office looking like you are excited to take on the day ahead of you. It's not about having a certain aesthetic. It's about telling the world that you take pride in yourself. It's about telling the world that you know that you are here for a purpose. Again, whether that is in your home office or working in some corporate building, or if you're dealing face to face with customers, all the more reason, right? So, yes, it tells the world that you take pride in yourself, but it also tells your psyche that you are going to do something important. Your brain is this miraculous thing, and it was beautifully designed to take all of these shortcuts. And so we can leverage those shortcuts and those biases to our advantage. Now, when you stay in your pajamas all day, your brain says, all right, we're in relax mode. We're going to just take things a little bit easier. When you actually put on your shoes, right? Whether you're tying them up or putting on those pumps, or you put on your slacks, even put on your leggings, but in an intentional outfit, it's telling your brain, we are meaning to do something important here. We are meaning to take action and be deliberate with ourselves. And that is the message that you want to be sending to your brain every single day for the rest of December. It can be tempting to phone this in, right? There's less meetings, less Zoom calls, less face to face time because it's the holidays. But that doesn't mean that you have to take a back seat to yourself. Your first tip for the next 30 days is to get ready every single day. All right, number 2. I want you to create a brag list. I want you to create a brag file that you are going to add to every day. Now, what this is not is a done list, okay? This is not you taking your to-do list that you created in the morning, everything that you crossed off, writing down in a separate list. We are not talking about activity. We are not talking about busy work. We are talking about focused achievements with this one. I want you to look at this as your launch pad. If you were going to talk about topics in an interview, these are things you would go back to. If you needed to hype yourself up after a particularly bad meeting or day, this is the list that you're going to come back to. So it doesn't matter that you got to inbox 0. Nobody cares about that. You don't need to care about that. I want you to put things on this brag list that are, I finished X project on time and on budget. That's awesome, but it's probably not going to happen every day, right? But maybe something like, I stayed calm and curious in this really specific heated meeting, which meant that we found an actual plausible solution where we could have been completely derailed. That is something that goes on your brag list. You were able to refocus people because you were calm and steady in the storm. All right, another example. Maybe it's that you spoke really clearly to the objectives in your one on one. Maybe you're a leader who can get a little too flowery in your language, or you're someone who can just focus on how things feel and not really get clear on the objectives and the expectations. And so if you make note of this and take action so that you did speak really clearly to the objectives during your one on one, and your employee then knew exactly how they should move forward, I want you to write that down in your brag file. Now, I kind of hinted at another benefit to doing this. You are going to notice those things that you're doing well more often. You're going to make a more concerted effort to put more intentionality in because you want to add it to that brag list. Again, your brain, it's amazing. It's created with this reticular activating system. You might have heard me talk about this before. You may have heard about it from other content creators as well. Ed Mylett talks about it all the time. But your brain has this filter within it. It's just amazing. The things that you focus on, it actually looks for them because it's always looking to save a little bit of time, do things a little bit more efficiently. You're making 35,000 decisions per day. So it's critical actually that your brain finds these shortcuts. So when you tell it, I am looking for achievements that I have today, it starts looking for the achievements that you're making and it starts seeking out opportunities to achieve. I mean, if that's not a silver bullet, I don't know what is. So, again, number two, we are going to start that brag list and add to it every single day. Now, you might be wondering exactly when you're going to fit this in. My favorite time to start writing stuff in a brag list is at the close out of your day. I might have to make a whole video separate to this, more of a logistics thing, but I would really encourage you to have an open meeting with yourself and a closeout meeting with yourself every day. Okay. So these can be 5-minute long meetings on your calendar just to sort of demark the bookends of your day. And in your closeout meeting, that's a great time to reflect back on the day, think about what went well, what didn't, what you want to change in the future, and what achievements you accomplished that you can write down in this brag list. I want to encourage you to find at least one every day. Some days you may not have a bunch of them, that's okay. But I want you to look for one brag every single day at that closeout and write that down. Next thing you're going to write down, number three, is what is the best question I asked today? Now, why would I encourage you to do this? You might be someone who has thought in the past that leaders are supposed to have all the answers. Leaders aren't supposed to have to ask questions unless they are getting information from their staff, but that's honestly just not the case. Questions are your biggest ally as a leader for a number of reasons, but let me give you just three of them. So, first of all, questions create accountability. Questions create accountability. Your people can hold themselves accountable when you ask questions of them. So, one of those questions, an example might be, if you had to take action right now, what would it be? That would be when your employee comes up to you and says, I really don't know what to do next. What do you want me to do? Right? They're completely offloading the responsibility of the next steps onto you. And you're not going to accept it. You're going to toss that ball right back and say, listen, Jude, I want you to tell me if you had to take action right now, what would it be? Have them answer that question, and then you can help direct one way or the other. And maybe you won't even need to, honestly, right? The next point that I want to make is that questions position you as the leader. Now, if you are someone who is influencing within a group of peers or you don't have a formal leadership title, this one is critically important. But also, if you are a leader that is trying to be a standout instead of just another head in the crowd of middle management, this is really going to be the game changer for you. So, questions position you as the leader. When you call out somebody else to add their opinion, you are seen as the leader because you have the authority to hand the mic over. Okay. This is something that you can use when you do have an opinion, but you want to make sure that others are supporting it before you speak up. You can use this as a way to give people who are typically a little more quiet and reserved a voice. And you can use it to make sure that others understand that there is support for your idea that comes from more than just you. So, an example of this might be, Jerry, I know the customer experience is always front and center for you. What are your thoughts on this plan? Now, you yourself don't have to have any thoughts on the plan. You might not even be really clear on exactly what the plan is, but by throwing the ball or handing the mic over to Jerry, you are allowing people to see you as the leader and give him the floor so that he can speak. And then lastly, and this one might not surprise you as much, but questions demonstrate confident humility. We know that humility is of critical importance to leaders, right? Leaders who are seen as humble are exponentially preferred and promotable. The catch is it can't be self deprecating humility, it needs to be a confident humility. I am confident enough to know myself and know that I don't have all the answers, know that I don't own all the perspectives, and that is a reason to ask questions and engage other people. Okay? It is easy to assume you have the answer. It is something that those more freshman leaders do all the time is just assume that they're supposed to have the right answer to every question. And so they speak up and then just go headstrong into whatever they came up with. But that's not what a confident, humble leader does. They take the time and the space to ask the questions. Now, I'll admit, having you write down the best question you asked today, if you aren't already someone who leans into curiosity and asking questions as a part of your leadership style, it can feel like a stretch, right? So, I've given you a couple of examples here on ways that you can incorporate more questions. But particularly in some of those sticky situations, right? So, situations where you have an employee who just isn't taking accountability for their work, or you have a peer that you don't get along with, and so you're getting a little bit heated every time you come together, or where you are feeling like you don't know enough, and so you don't want to speak up at all. Those times can be really difficult to use questions to your advantage, let alone finding the one that was the best question for the day. So, I want to be able to help you out with this. And I have a completely free translation guide that can help you turn some of those statements, comments, frustrating thoughts that you might have into really good curiosity leader driving questions. And I want you to click the link below to get access to that completely free guide. I know that this will be beneficial to you because I actually created it for coaching clients who were struggling in this area. And so, if it's beneficial to the people who are working with me on a weekly basis, I know it will be beneficial to you as well. Okay, number 4, our last tip is to capture your thoughts. When you have those negative thoughts, when you have those problematic things that are sticking in your brain, whether they are negative to yourself, I can't believe I screwed that up again, or negative about the team or the business, what am I even going to do with this, right? It's not my fault that everyone around here is just slacking this December, right? Or maybe it's frustration that you're not further along. I've been working on this goal for the last 5 years. What makes me think that I could switch this around in 1 month? So I want you to capture that thought, capture that painful negative thought, and twist it. I'm not always for, twisting comments, thoughts, all of that stuff. But in this situation, we are going to hold captive every thought. And I want you to find those negative ones, those terrible ones, the ones that are holding you back, and turn it into something useful. Okay? So things like silver linings. Nobody around here is taking December seriously. How can I twist that into, if I am a leader and I can take this December seriously and do something different that can launch me forward, what a great example I can be for the team. Find that silver lining. I can be the diamond in the rough that stands out for making this month count. Now, what I want to caution you against with silver linings is do not turn it into an at least. Okay? We are not gravitating to the bottom. I don't care what the bare minimum is. So you turn your thought into something positive, but it's not, well, at least I tried. At least I did that December challenge that she was talking about to glow up my career for a week. No, no, no. We are not gravitating to the bottom. We are finding a new opportunity and finding the silver lining in it. Now, if you can't find a silver lining, or that's just not something that you are prone to do, I want to challenge you to twist it in another way. I want you to twist it with a I wonder. Okay? So we're going back to those questions, right? But we're having these questions point to ourselves. So when you have that frustrating thought, I can't believe I thought I could do this. I'm so disorganized. There's no way I'm going to accomplish this. I want you to say to yourself, I wonder what it would be like to be completely organized and have nothing fall through the cracks. Okay? All we did was take the opposite. Whatever that negative thought was, we took the opposite and we said, I wonder what it would be like to be like this. If you are used to rolling, rolling into work, rolling into your home office, looking like you just got out of bed because you did, I want you to say, I wonder what it would be like to start work polished. I wonder what it would be like to enter every meeting excited to hear what people had to say. I wonder what it would be like to feel like the most professional person in the room. That's for all those people who feel like the hot mess leader. I know you, I see you, I've been you. What would it be like? I wonder if I was just the most professional person in this setting. Now, again, you are leveraging your brain and how it just thinks about these things in a different way. You are training that RAS to find the times when you are polished, when you are professional, when you are organized. It's opening up this curiosity inside of you that allows you to build on that and find the evidence where you did. I guess I'm not that unorganized, right? I have kept every pen that I needed today. I always had my laptop at the ready to take notes. I always was prepared to document a conversation or to hold space for people when they needed it. Those instantly are also great brags to end. See why this only takes 5 minutes a day? Because you are going to be building on your successes as you go throughout the day and then documenting what you did so you can further train yourself to find those opportunities, capitalize on them, and document them for the future. Okay, so quick, let's just recap really fast what the 4 tips are for your glow up in 2026. For the next 30 days, all throughout December, we are going to 1, get ready every single day. We are going to 2, add to our brag list every afternoon. 3, we are going to identify the best question we asked in the last 24 hours and write that one down. We can write that right in the brag list. Honestly, that is a brag in and of itself. And if you need help on those, you are going to grab the translation guide so that you are equipped with questions to ask. And finally, number 4, we are going to capture a thought and twist it so that it is working for us. When you do these 4 things for the next 30 days, you will be unrecognizable come January, my friend. You are going to be this entirely new version of yourself who is ready to take on any challenge and not only get to that vision of yourself at the end of the year, but exceed it with a vision that you never even thought possible. All right, I hope that this was helpful for you today. If you know anyone who would benefit from a message like this, or maybe you have someone that you want to do this with and act as an accountability partner, share this video with them and get going, guys. We got a whole month to go. I will see you in the next one.